So, handling the most uncertain circumstances with perseverance, commitment, and certainty. That's true project management. Perseverance is required in project management. That's the message we have got. And now let's hear from Mr. G.V. Shashidhar, founder of Sakafi. He has over 20 plus years experience in information technology, and he has taken a break to endeavor to get healthy tea and coffee to people. It's a different approach. It's to get healthy tea and coffee. The tea and coffee that we are drinking right now, ladies and gentlemen, please come on the dais, sir, is not that healthy. So, as the elders say, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. So he said, let me get the wisdom into what is being consumed. And with that same approach, he has made and he wants to make the mornings magical for the masses by selling this exciting coffee and tea. And for all that, he is bringing in his experience as the vertical head for Wipro Infotech and being the national sales manager for Wipro, who has successfully led teams for several multi-year contracts as well. And now he has also worked with the Tatas, AT&T, CM3. Well, that's a wide range of IT experience that is coming in a project managed way to make us healthy living. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very glad. Thank you. Finally, I'm here. I'm very glad representing, Sakafi. Sakafi, so let me first explain what is Sakafi. Okay, let me get this going first. Yeah. So Sa is TSA. See, there's a lot of TS in Japanese, like the tsunami, TSUNAMI. First time actually, unfortunately, after that accident, one of the Hindi dailies wrote tsunami, it said tsunami. So they read it as Tusnami. So this is not Tuskafi, Tuskafi or anything like that. Sa Kafi, and Sa is chai, Kafi is coffee. See, when you cross Calcutta, and within India, when you cross Calcutta and you turn around and ask for chai, you go to a shop and say, chai lena hai. Like, chai? Kaun sa chai? Earl Grey, English breakfast, orange pico, green leaf, kaun sa lena hai? Bolege, itna sab to malum nahi hai. I need chai. So then, just like it is my personal observation, just like French women don't get fat, there's the book where one of the reasons they don't get fat is because of the wine they drink. One of the reasons Northeasterners are fit, are not fat, overweight, generally, is because the amount of chai they have. And the chai that they have is without milk, without sugar. Well, good brewed tea, that the way it is supposed to be had. Okay, so that is chai. And, coffee is coffee. This is coffee country, so coffee. That is about Sakafi. Okay, cut. Michael Holding was once asked, how did he retire? And what was the decision? Why did he take this decision to retire? He's supposed to have said, look, when I got up in the morning, I opened the curtains, I saw a gloomy, cloudy day, looked very breezy, and I said to myself, oh God, another tough day of bowling. And he said, that is when I decided I'll quit. Because it was perfect conditions for him. It is gloomy, breezy, pacey, swinging wicket, and he's saying, oh God, another tough day. And he said he'll quit. After 21 years of slogging, working, meeting targets, target hua, done, EBITDA, done, bottom line, done, not done sometimes. When I sat down and said that, look, I need to go to work today, Michael Holding came to me and said, you've got to hang up your boots, Mon. And I said, okay, done. We will hang up our boots and see what is it that we're going to do now. Now I had to future-proof my job, my life, and how do I migrate, sort of a migration plan into what I need to do now. I was, of course, inspired by one chai wala who has done remarkable work doing chai pe charcha, etc. And I decided if chai wala can do so much, chai, coffee wala can do more probably, who knows? So karke, let's see that. So I'm going to be talking about what I'm calling the journey. So the journey of 20 years, 1 year, and let's see where it takes from here, but it's very exciting, I must tell you. There is a video like Chai Pe Charcha, Chai Pe Behs or Chai Pe whatever, Ladai that we created. A small 30-second fun thing. Let's see it. The first one, please. It's coming here. Okay.
ज्ञान इधर आ।
आया साहब। राम राम विजय भैया।
राम राम। ज्ञान एक चाय लाना।
आया साहब।
खैर हो ज्ञान, यहाँ पहले कौन आया था?
जी पहले आप आए थे।
तुमको पहले बुलाया किसने था?
जी आपने।
तो फिर चाय भी पहले यहीं आएगी।
जी चाय तो उन्होंने।
तुम्हारी गलती है, तुमने हमारा ऑर्डर पहले क्यों नहीं लिया? चाय यहाँ लगा रखो, चलो। ज्ञान, वो चाय मैंने मंगवाई थी और वो इस टेबल पर आएगी। ज्ञान, मुन्ना, चाय यहाँ लाके रख दे। चाय इसी टेबल पर आएगी ज्ञान। खबरदार! एक कदम भी आगे बढ़ाया तो दोनों टांगे तोड़ दूंगा।
So you feel worse for Gyan. He says, आगे बढ़ा तुम्हारी टांगे तोड़ दूंगा। उसने क्या किया भाई? So we are giving a solution to Gyan in saying, forget everything, yaar, order online and get the best thing available that's there for you. Anyway, moving on. So when I decided that we need to do something else and figured out that chai coffee banayega hi banega, chai wala coffee wala ban gaye. So what is it that we need to look at? There were 2 points of consideration. This is the means or the end. The great man himself has said that there's no answer, a perfect answer to it. But it is very important. So all of us, I'm still saying all of us, a lot of you are going to write your appraisals, are writing your appraisals. You will look at appraisals, review appraisals. So what do you actually look at? As the result, the process, or when I used to write my self-appraisals, I could write only 2 things. 1, target meet hua nahi hua. 2nd, gross margin meet hua nahi hua. Uske baad I couldn't figure out what else to write. And and many times, my manager would also come and turn up. I have to say that to a lot of my team members, so I don't care, boss. This not met, very sorry. And he would sit and howl saying, I did this, I did this, I did that, and that. I said, okay, put it down on paper. Let's see what all you did. When he tried to put it down on paper, 3, 4 points, he can't fill a page. So very important aspect of project management, future proofing, or whatever else you call it, is the documentation part. It is very important to document whether it's an idea, your plan, your thoughts, anything of it. If you try to document it from day 1, end of the year, whether it's your appraisal or your plan, you will get your PDS cycle in place, right? So it is an important way of reviewing what you've thought, what you put down as part of the plan. And a very great example of the importance of documentation happened in 330 BC. Rather, I think this is the first instance of recorded documentation in human history. Recorded. I'm not going to turn around and ask, what is this picture, who's this picture? So let me tell you, this is Aristotle and the fairy maiden. You know the story? Okay. So Aristotle was a great Greek philosopher, mathematician, blah, blah. Philip of Macedonia, who was the father of Alexander the Great, sent him to Aristotle to go and learn something from this great man. You're not doing anything in life. You're just going, playing with friends, etc. Aristotle tried to teach him. He figured out very soon that he doesn't have it in him. He cannot read, write, become a philosopher, etc. But Aristotle used to keep ridiculing him, keep giving him galis and say, look, you're a fool, you don't know anything, you don't do this, that, etc. Now, Alexander wanted to rewrite history. He wanted to conquer the world, and this man is telling him that he's useless. So he connived with his consort, cousin, or whatever. The fairy maiden turned around and saying, it is time we need to teach Aristotle a lesson. Aristotle, an old man, smitten by this girl's charms and her idea of, chalo ghoda ghoda khelenge. So he's become the ghoda, she's sitting on top of him. And Alexander walks into him and says, look, you say you're the wisest man in this land. Look what this girl has made such a fool of you. Aristotle said, okay, thank you, boss. I got the point. Now what is your point? Alexander said, look, don't give me any gyan about maths. Don't give me gyan about philosophy. Give me one good practical lesson. I am setting out in a few weeks' time to conquer the world. He said, Aristotle said, take a chronicler. Take a man who is going to chronicle every act of yours. What you want to be remembered for. I mean, he's not going to chronicle everything because a lot of things that he wouldn't want to be stated. That is the first instance where his whole exploits, the way he wanted people to remember him, was documented. It was put down on paper and it's very clear. So we have very clear idea of what Alexander did, where he came, where he went, didn't go, how he slept, how he fought, etc. Incidentally, have you ever thought, he came to the northwest frontier of this peninsula. He met an Indian king called Porus. We all remember that, we've read it as stories, right? And Porus said, treat me like a king. And Alexander said, okay, great man, you're a great king, even though you've lost, I'll treat you like a king. Because that man was writing it. He wanted it to be remembered as a story. And along the way, he would have impaled at least 200 kings. So, I just wanted to illustrate a point on documenting whatever it is, whether it's a project plan, life plan, future proofing. I've come a full circle. I find it a little hard to understand or read jargons. Future proofing for me seems like an oxymoron. How can you, who wants to do anything to fail? Every one of us puts a plan to succeed it. But at some point in time, there has to be a review so that a corrective action can happen. In that same line, so let us look at, what are the inventions that we found in the last 10 years? Agreed, cell phone, invention, Facebook, okay, it's an invention. iPhone, great invention, you can listen, talk, everything is moved into your hand. Android, Google, right? What have we discovered? The wheel is not being reinvented. Water, air, fire, everything is discovered. So what are we discovering? What Einstein had predicted, right? Dark matter. Nobody knows what is dark matter, but they said they discovered dark matter. Please Google it. It's all there. There are 10 of them. Mars has signs of water, right? One of these things has reached Jupiter. So what is the point here? Okay. I'll come to the heading. So basically, I'd like to be proven wrong, but I seriously think we've reached a stage where there's nothing new to discover, nothing new to invent. There's only, a process, a chain, a way that needs improvement. And that improvement is only incremental, the quantum improvement is also gone, right? So why do we keep hearing? I'm very sorry, some of these things don't resonate with me. Things like passion, aggression, wow factor, disruption. In one of my appraisals, my boss has written, everything met, great. Customers happy, your team happy, your EBITDA met, top line met, revenue met, gross margin met. But there is no wow factor, right? There is no wow factor. I said, what is this wow factor? Disruption. Is disruption moving away from a job and getting into being an entrepreneur, starting up? I don't know. So the thing is, because it's a matter of debate and that's not the whole point that we're going to talk about. But the thought kept coming back to me, how do I get passion? What I'm doing. How do I get passionate about what I'm doing? I do my job because I do my job, right? So how do I think innovation? Yeah, so you try doing something, continue trying doing something, And at some point, innovation might happen, might not happen. But if you say that, look, I'm going to try and do innovation, I don't know how it can be done. How do I get passionate about work? I even saw Sultan, ऊपर अल्लाह नीचे ज़मीन बीच में तेरा जुनून, but that junoon is still to happen. So in real life, there is no maximization, there is only optimization. There are only the set of resources that you have to work around and try and get the best out of them. So if you have a lot of money, you don't have time. If you have a lot of time, obviously you don't have a lot of money. Think of it, okay, gender unspecific. You have a spouse, partner, very good looking, very presentable, very intelligent, very witty, very funny, earns a huge amount of money, listens to you, doesn't argue with you, is always nice to you. Will it happen? It will not happen, right? So, okay. So, please understand this is all part of a project. It is part of my life project. So, I sat down and said, okay, let me put it down, document it. What is it that's going to make me happy? First thing in the morning, when I have my first cup of coffee, is when I'm happy. After that, the day starts going downhill. What makes me angry? Many things. The thought of my boss gets me off completely, right? And then, what makes me afraid? Yeah, my next appraisal, next promotion, next job, the last person I've spoken to, my LinkedIn connection, is he going to introduce me to that guy? Okay, what makes me frustrated? Everything. I'm just stepping out, the traffic, the guy behind honking, the guy in front of it, everything is going to get frustrating to me. But the point is, what is stopping me from changing it? All of this, my scare, my frustration, my fear, all of it is going to shake that. So then I decided, let me do one thing. Out of all these things, there is just one thing that I know, that I get happy with my first cup of coffee. I said, let me take it to everybody, let's see. But then, while documentation has version control, configuration management, all of that, I figured that I didn't know how to, extend, all this happiness to everybody. How do I share all this making of, yes, the health aspect, very clearly, these two, it's the way the marketers present it, but there are, you go ask for a tea, forget a very costly tea lounge. The moment you step out and ask for a tea, there are 1,500 types of teas and infusions, etc. So I said, let me share it with everybody, let me discuss it with everybody. So we put in the feedback cycle into the plan, and we said, what is going to change? TV time has to change to research time. I need to go sit down, talk to people and understand what does it mean to become a chai wala or a coffee wala. So the guy who makes good tea, or the guy, he's called a brewmaster. A lot of you might know it, I didn't know it, I'm just sharing it with you. The guy who makes those designs or discovers or invents new coffee is called a barista. There is, in Scotland or someplace, there is an annual barista festival, almost like a tattoo festival where people join together and try and make different types of coffee, invent this, there's a rainbow coffee, there's a chocolate, etc., etc. The history, why it is, okay. In history, there are a couple of interesting facts I'd like to tell you. Tea was brought into India by the Brits to break the Chinese monopoly, because China started acting funny about trading with Britain on tea. So they set it up in Assam, Darjeeling, good, so far so good. They started taking the leaf, getting it plucked, they taught them how to leaf and a bud, 2 leaves and a bud is what it's called, and take it over to England. But then they figured that the natives also started enjoying it. So they said, okay, do one thing, leaf is not for you. You guys love milk anyway. Take all the dust after it is, crushed, twist, curl, CTC or whatever. Let's bring it all together. Add milk. Indians love milk, right? Milk in anything. Add sugar. Of course, Indians love sugar. Boil it. Turn it into a meal, right? And you have it. So for a 4-hour shift or 5-hour shift, because plucking is hard work, because you're on your feet, standing and things like that, they turned around and said, okay, 1 big cup of tea, these guys are going to extend their shift by 2 hours. After 60 years, actually what the problem that they're facing right now is because, not 60 years, sorry, just after 20, 30 years of this, the workers started getting cramps because it's hilly area, Darjeeling, etc., and they would stand and pick up, etc. And this is something that were not adapted to. They started getting cramps. So they said, okay, forget sugar. Let's have it your tea with salt. It's salt, good, hydration. Cramps happen basically because dehydration, right, or muscle cramps. They said, okay, fine. After 40 years, again the shift timings have gone back to 4 or 5 hours because almost all these bagan workers are now stuck with high BP. These are all actual facts that I've seen, sat down and understood this thing. Geography is important, so ultimately it's all about various things, about grades, the things that I'm not going to bore you with, and information is the key. There is another thing that is very important, which I personally think again, it is, experience. Somebody was saying in the afternoon, Mr. Srinivas Rao, I think, that if you do the same thing, you're asked to do the same thing, after 20 years you become redundant. The absolutely great point, because if experience is only 1 year